This is Better Living from the Outdoors with Hovey Smith, preparing meat for wild game stews.
This is Better Living from the Outdoors with Hovey Smith. Most people start off with frozen packages of meat like this for their wild game stews. Now, it is better to always freeze in muscle masses rather than cut your meat up beforehand, because if you freeze in larger pieces, then this reduces freezer burn. It's also wise when you're handling any wild game meat, and particularly that from hogs and bear and squirrels, to wear rubber gloves. So I'm about to put on my gloves here, and we will get started. There we go. 5 fingers. Now, this is a squirrel. Now, squirrels, you disjoint and boil, and then you make your stews from these. With larger pieces of meat, like these deer back straps here, you cut them into sections. I usually cut them about 1/2 inch square, and I'll show you how to do that. The knives you use need to be long and thin, and I like a fillet knife. Here's several laid out before me here. This one happens to be from Finland, and they know something about doing with fish in Finland. This one from Mexico, and these two are more recent additions of fillet knives, including this one, which has a nice titanium coating. So there are various varieties of thin-bladed knives that you can use. Now, usually I like to cut my meat when it's in semi-thawed condition, but this is already pretty well thawed. We're going to show you how it cuts right now. What you do is you take your blade like this, and you slice one slice down, one across, then you turn the knife flat, and then you cut along the silver skin like this. So this gets you a nice even cut. And you see why they call it silver skin, because indeed it is. Now, this happens to be back straps of deer, so it's like this. You want to generally remove tendons from meat for use for stews, although there are a few stews where you actually use the tendons. So here we go, getting this cut. Whoa. And last little hunk here. All right, so that's waste, although you could fry it up for dogs. Dogs like it. Just cut it once across, like yay. Trim anything that's not good red meat. So you would trim off any freezer burn, like right now. Like there's a little touch right there. That goes, and that goes. Freezer burn gives an off taste to the meat. It's not deadly. It's not going to make you sick, but it's better if you get it off of there. All right. And the extra trimmings. Okay. All right. You can see now why it's best to do in muscle masses. Okay. Now you appreciate the thin bladed knife now and how it really works. Now, any of these would have done very much the same task in much the same way. So, okay. We got that one cut up. We'll do exactly the same with this one. And then we'll be well on the way to having our stew. Now, we have a nice bowl of cut meat for deer stew. This is Hovey Smith reminding you to hunt what you eat what you hunt, be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, and see you next time for better living from the outdoors.